OpenAI tried to ship an internal product with a philosophy in mind that their engineers would write zero manual code and everything would be written by AI, and here's how they did it. They started with a completely blank repository and only 3 software engineers, and the job of the software engineers was to not write code or to even look at the code, but just to set up the environment so that way an agent could just be dropped in or plugged in and understand everything they needed to do. So the software engineers pretty much only interacted with the code base by writing prompts, so pretty much just telling the AI what tasks needed to be completed, telling the agents to review the code, and then to maybe grab other agents to help review the code, and then just keep iterating until every agent that was looking at it approved it. And so anytime there was any sort of problem where the human would have to be notified, instead of just hopping in and manually fixing the code themselves, they would treat this as like an indication that the system was broken and needed to be fixed. So they would just go and fix the harness for the system and then just reprompt until it worked. So Codex, their coding agent, wrote every single file, pretty much did everything. The humans didn't even look at the code, and Codex even wrote the AGENTS.md file, and they pretty much just treat it as like a table of contents. So the philosophy was, if something isn't immediately available to the agent while it's running in context, then essentially it doesn't exist. So anything that was in someone's Google Drive, their Gmail, or Slack, or if it's just in someone's head, it pretty much just doesn't exist until you encode it into the repository with like Markdown files. So essentially the way you can think about it is, if you lock a robot into your garage and have it just work on a car, you need to lay out where everything is, because the robot isn't going to know that you like to keep your hammer under your hat under like the 3rd drawer. Everything for the robot essentially needs to be in the right place, needs to be neatly and properly organized, so that way it can find anything it needs at all times, because the robot's not going to be able to go inside the house and ask your wife where she left the wrench.